Welcome to the Let's Finish a Track review stream. It's called Let's Finish a Track, and there's a lot of people who just can't finish tracks because they don't have a deadline. Like, they don't have anything to work towards, so they'll just keep crunching out on like this one track or not work enough on it. So yeah, so basically Let's Finish a Track, it's just basically a common deadline. So it's a deadline for everyone who participates. So you sign up before the sign-up deadline, and then you make a track in about a week or 2 weeks, or just finish a track you already started, and then we just review it here together at the end. So that's basically all it is. It's kind of a simple concept. And with me today, I have my good friend MELURAN. Yay! Let's give him a hand, guys. Let's give him a hand. And our other good friend, Overload from Haszan and Overload. Yay! Woohoo!
Where the fuck I am?
Let's hear some introductions. So, MELURAN, what are you? Who are you? What kind of a guy are you?
I don't know what to say. I'm a producer. I've been making music with both Kasger and Overload for a long time now. I'm just here to listen to some tunes and say stuff, I guess.
So yeah, we also have Overload on the stream. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Well, I'm just a guy who tries to make music. Well, drum and bass mostly. And yeah, that's all, I guess. we met on the internet as well.
Yeah.
Since I am Czech Republic, you're from Denmark. It was on Skype actually, if I remember it correctly.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe we should actually just listen to the first track.
Oh,
yes, fam.
Okay, are you guys ready? The first track we're gonna listen to is from Elite, aka Akoda. And it's called Kalisto. Such beautiful.
Such piano.
Such piano.
Very melody.
Oh.
Okay, here we go, boys.
Here it comes. Prepare your air horns.
It's a cool snare.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah. Piano never gets old.
Yeah, that's true.
You can always use piano. Yeah, it's a really good piano actually. What did you use for this piano? FL keys?
I'm even...
I think it's giant. I bet it's giant.
Is it just FL keys? Wow.
Really?
No way.
That's the meme, right? It's gotta be a joke.
I mean, FL keys is really not that bad, honestly.
Really? I actually never used it because it's FL keys. Okay, it's not FL keys.
But FL keys is not bad, honestly.
Shakers.
Some sick shakers.
Yeah.
Nice track, nice track.
What a way to start.
Do you want to start, MELURAN?
I could always talk about mixing for a bit. Because, like, the drums, they were good. The snare was especially really nice. I really like that snare, but it might have been a little bit too loud. So maybe next time turn that down a bit, or like a nice way of like mixing different elements in your like track is like I usually like solo the group that I'm mixing. So like when I'm mixing the drums, I just solo the drums. So I'm only listening to the drums and I mix them by themselves, so I know that the levels in that group are like good, and then I'll mix the synths and so on and so on, and then finally I'll mix the levels of all of the groups so that they're good. So like that's a tip I can give you for next time. Yeah, we all said that the piano was super nice. I really liked the fact that you played around with the velocity of the keys. Like you could definitely hear that there was some more like human feeling to it because you used the velocity, and I really think that that's something that is people often forget, that a piano is a very human instrument, that you should treat it like a human instrument. You should play around with the velocity and the panning and stuff like that. So that was really nice.
Yeah, I really liked the I liked how, again, the piano, it was like really naturally sounding. Like some people have, especially me, have a tendency to just drench their piano in way much reverb, and that can make it sound really weird. So good thing you didn't do that. It works pretty well as it is. Yeah, I really liked the attention to detail in the drums. Like there was some noise layered on the kicks, right? It sounded pretty cool at least. And yeah, the snare was really good as well.
First, the piano was amazing, as you guys said. I really dig it. Well, about the reverb on the piano, I would put small amount of reverb to it, or maybe more if there is already some, because reverb are amazing. Also, about the velocity and dynamics, yeah, it's cool. It's cool on the intro, but at the drop, I would probably make a different layer of the piano with more compression there, so you don't have those peaks or something. Also, the kick, I would love to hear the kick that is more punchier or that is more coming through the mix. I felt like the kick was a bit drawn under the bass or sub. Maybe a more side chain or more mid-highs on the kick. I don't know. You can try different things to work out. Maybe layer some other kicks there. The snare was pretty cool. It was a bit loud. And I think that on the intro was pretty amazing, but it would be cool to have some hi-hats going on or maybe some percussion there. Because there was the melody plus the piano, and I thought the piano was really random there. I kinda lost in the rhythm there. So it would be cool to have some hi-hats or percussions there to keep on the good rhythm there, and you know where you are at.
Like for the intro and maybe just in general, add a bit more elements. It could just be something like an extra pad or something to keep it a bit more interesting, like to fill out the spectrum a bit more.
Maybe some ambient vocal samples or something.
Yeah, like vocal ad-libs with a shit ton of delay and reverb is always so good to have like in the background. Just more like background elements.
But it was pretty solid track. I liked it.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a really good first track. Next track. Actually, before we do the next track, I have a question for my co-hosts today. You can start, MELURAN. The question is, what is your process of creating a track from start to finish? Like, where do you start? Where do you end? Do you have like a general workflow when you're making a track?
Such a hard question.
Yeah, that's a really hard question. I think that really depends on what I'm in the mood for making. Like sometimes even just, if you're playing around with, if you just like bought a new preset pack or something, you play around with it, then maybe you'll find some inspiration there. Or maybe if you're browsing samples on Splice, you'll find inspiration there. So sometimes I start up with a melody if I find a sound I really like, and I try and imagine a melody, or maybe I found some melody on Splice that I really like to use that. Sometimes I find a bass sound that I really like and I'll start off with that. Sometimes I find some drums and I start off with that. So it's really not set in stone, I think, how I start my projects, but usually I'd say that I start with melody, because the melody really is like the base of the track. Like if you don't have a solid hook or a solid melody, then you don't really have anything to work from, I think.
Oh well, it really depends, and it's really random for me actually. Well, one case scenario of starting a track is browsing Splice. I just keep browsing Splice almost every day. If I feel like I like some vocals, some chops, maybe some pads, I don't know, something, drums, I just get it, put it in FL Studio and start working around it. Maybe it will sound good, maybe it's not. Second case scenario is actually trying to copy some tracks out there. yeah, to start with something. I mean, like, oh yeah, I want to make track like this one. So
Yeah.
I try to make it, but my own way. That's a good thing. And I always, well, not always, but most of the time, I start with the chords. I try to make chords, and then I try to figure melody. Well, I'm not good with melodies. I'm really bad with melodies, so I prefer to just have a chord and maybe some background art going on and vocals. That's why I love vocals, because I don't need to think about melodies.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
Okay, so should we hear the next track?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
And the next track is from Mr. OV.
Show us what you got.
And yeah, OV is, if you guys didn't know, OV also lives in the same town as MELURAN and I. And he's a part of our Subhive gang, where we do
really?
electronic music events. Yeah. So, are you guys ready to listen to the track?
Yes,
Yeah.
bring it
This
on.
one is, this one's gonna be a banger, I guess.
I'm gonna spin it now.
Sound of the sun.
Alright.
It's a nice picture for the track.
Wait, did he sample Rick and Morty? Oh no.
Oh boy.
To the sound of the sun.
Oh!
Dude.
Uh-oh.
Here we go, boys.
To the sound of the sun. Sound of the sun. Listen.
This song is sponsored
sound
by
of the
BitCrush. Nice one. This is spooky.
Yeah.
Is that a goat?
Oh, was that a fart?
Is that a sea lion?
Listen. To the sound of the sun.
Jesus fucking Christ.
The sound of the sun. 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 To the sound of the sun.
Let's get it.
Hell yeah!
Sound of the sun.
Yeet!
Actually, there was the sample of the sun. Like, I remember hearing sound of the sun.
How can you sample the sun? I'm so confused.
This is the sound of the sun.
Just
This is,
put it
if
on
you-
YouTube. There is a sound of the sun.
Cool track, man.
That's cool.
So, that track was heavy as I think I will need to change my headphones and get a new one after this. I think the sub was too loud. Yeah. But not that loud, but a bit loud. You know,
Okay.
just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
I really like the kick. Maybe I don't really like these type of snares, but I think it works pretty well with this track. The samples, or the squeaky samples, the bass samples or presets, I don't know, it was fucking amazing. I really don't have much to say. I really like it.
I think I really liked the metallic synth sound that was like insanely wide. It was like out there. Such a cool sound. I think this is a thing I always tell OV whenever I listen to his tracks and give feedback. I always miss more percussions. Like, I hear a kick and a snare and some rides, but I barely noticed any like real hi-hats and stuff. So I think a bit more percussions. But then again, I don't really produce in the genre, and the genre I produce in is like insane with percussions. So I don't know if it really needs it, but I just kind of miss it, like to add a bit more into the whole like the mix. Just a bit more percussions maybe.
Yeah, more shakers.
More shakers, definitely. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, shakers is now officially a meme. It's the new meme.
Why is that a meme?
It's a meme.
Yeah, because I was sending like every render of We Can Come Back thingy to Kasper, and he was like, at one point he was like, "Dude, lower those shakers," and I was like, "Dude, there are no shakers."
You just layered like 10 hi-hats and it sounded like shakers, and I was like, "Dude, lower those shakers, man." So it's a meme by now, just so you guys are up to date.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course, as they said, it's everything is super solid. Like, I really like the drop. I like all of the crazy sounds you got going on there. But yeah, I think like for like dubstep these days, like theme is everything. Like you need, in order for your tracks to like stand out, you need to have a theme around them, and you kind of have that with this sound of the sun thing. But the main melody or whatever is not like, you know, it doesn't connect with me in like terms of like the sound of the sun or whatever. So I would probably I don't know if this is finished or not, but I would.
It's finished.
It's finished. Okay, but
That's the rules.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It's like
everything
the
is great,
drop.
like-
The drop is really good, and
Yeah.
like, but I think it needs something like catchy, like in the intro and in the build-up. Like,
Yeah, I think there was some movie sample right before the drop, right? And what this track needs is like the typical evil sample saying like, "Get your fucking ass pounded" or something. For the whole build-up, you know, with the low voice coming up. Exactly. And then it drops and your ass explodes. Yeah,
But I mean, that's just like super typical for the stuff. Like, it doesn't have to be like that.
yeah,
I
but
think
it did something.
I thought the build-up was just fine. Like, I think everything, like up until like when the first like that brass hit, like everything before that could have more of a theme. Like, and then I think it would be fine.
and please add the 3, 2, 1, get your ass pounded.
Get your ass. No, it should be
That
3,
would
2, 1.
be insane.
Lower your shakers.
Lower it, yeah, right before the drop. Lower your shakers. Okay, so yeah, cool track.
Yeah,
Next track. But before we go to the next track, I have another question for my amazing co-hosts. Are you ready for this one?
oh yeah.
And we'll
boy.
start with Overload this time. So the question is, what is your one producer trick that you use in all your tracks? Like, what's the one thing that you always do?
OTT on the master, and that's not a joke.
No, I actually do that as
put
well.
OTT on the master, just turn the depth on the like 6%, maybe
Yeah.
7, depends on the track.
What else we got? OV is saying, I started layering snares with a metallic sample to give it a rougher feel. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay, MELURAN, you're up.
What does your ghost producer do?
I don't really have. Okay, kids. I have this one trick.
Okay, guys, get in
In
close. Get in close, guys.
Where in the build-up, I use this thing called a cutoff filter, and then I kind of, open up the synth over time. It's pretty advanced stuff, boys.
Guys, this is the tip record labels don't want you to know. This is one secret tip Spinning Records doesn't want you to know.
No, but I think tip, like, yeah, I talked a bit about it with OV's track. Like, I've started paying more attention to trying to create an actual like theme around my track, like trying to, because like if you're listening to a lot of tracks, and if you really want your track to stand out, then try and like build some sort of theme around it. Either use like some special vocal that makes the song stand out, or use some amazing melody that makes it stand out.
Okay,
Yes.
the next track comes from Deep Sea Astronaut or Deep Sea Astronaut. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to pronounce the name.
Some subnautic.
Deep Sea Astronaut. Yeah, and the track is called Humanity. I'm gonna plop it in now, so I hope you guys are ready. You ready?
It's my humanity. Yeah.
Let's get it.
Are we in the deep sea?
In the deep sea astronaut.
Oh.
It's the Stranger Things.
This is Stranger Things, guys.
Oh, I love it. It's crush.
This is spooky. I hear footsteps. Okay.
Nice. That was pretty cool. Definitely really liked the intro. Like I thought you definitely created like a certain feeling of like 80s. Like there was a definite theme surrounding the track that I could hear that you really paid attention to. And I feel like we've been talking a lot about this like theme and theme and theme. But I think it's really super important, and I think that you really nailed that theme for the intro part. But then like at the drop, I feel like you kind of did a complete 180 on the track, and then like split in a completely another direction. Which is like if that's what you want to go for. Like if you want to go for like the surprise effect, then that's super cool. But then like the second drop, you brought it back, the main theme, and it's more in line with what I was expecting from this track. So things that I think you should take away from this is like the first drop, I would make it more simple. Like there's a lot of stuff going on, and sometimes less is more. Like I know like in complex throw or whatever, it's really common to have like all these bass sounds going, but I feel most of the time like less is more, and like humans have a hard time focusing on so many different elements.
Yeah, I agree. The intro was like really cool and really grabbing. I feel like maybe having some sort of bass step on the offbeat would like. I feel like that was a kick, but there was no like bass underneath it apart from all the bass, like the complex throw bass steps. I feel like having like some sort of sub bass going, maybe on the offbeat. I'm not sure, but some sort of bass line to actually add in there would work pretty well to fill up like the low end of the track. For the second drop, I think your super sauce and basically your super sauce could be a lot wider and have some more layers to it. They sounded really nice, but I was lacking a bit more like something more wide, if that makes sense.
I totally agree with you guys. The theme was super cool. I was like, I felt like it was some kind of soundtrack to the game or to the movie, or maybe, you know, the showreel stuff on the YouTube that the VFX guys do. It was perfectly made for this kind of stuff. But dude, those drums. I would choose definitely different drum samples as a snare, as a kick. I think the kick and snare kinda downgraded the song. The song was super cool, everything was on point for me, except the drums. I don't know. I felt like maybe some snare with a bigger tail, more crispier snare would fit definitely better there on the drop. Also the kick, like more with the mid-range kick, would be definitely better here. Otherwise it was super nice.
Okay, so next track. But before we go to the next track, I have another question for you guys. Are you ready for it?
I never saw it coming.
Okay, this question is a bit of a fun one, and of course, people in the chat are welcome to answer it as well. The question is, have you ever produced while being drunk or under the influence of other substances or drugs?
Yeah, I have. Both while being drunk, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think we've produced together while drunk. Well, maybe not like shit-faced drunk, but at least like, you know, we've had a couple of beers and
Yeah, probably.
we've had those days or those nights where we, you know, hang out and drink a lot of beers and make music.
Yeah. So
also,
the follow up to the question is, what was the result? Like,
Oh, dude,
was
I
it
can't
better
remember.
or was it worse?
I feel like, so I've also produced while under the influence, and I always feel like that, like while I'm doing it, I feel like, yeah, this shit is bangers. I can't wait until I wake up tomorrow and finish this shit.
And then you wake up.
And then you wake up, you go, then you're like, wait, what did I do last night? Oh yeah, I made some
But-
music. Let's go and see what I made. And then you open it and you're like, what the fuck did I do last
But
night?
isn't that just in general when you produce?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a general thing here, but especially like, I can't remember that I've made like something good while I was under the influence. At least.
Okay.
I can't say I was producing while I was drunk, because it's definitely not working for me. But I actually started some project when I was high as and it actually helped me, to be honest.
Police, get him!
Oh boy, run.
Oh boy.
No, but actually it helped me, because you feel more relaxed, you don't overthink things, you're just not overthinking, you're just going with the flow. You feel flow better and you just go with it.
Yeah.
You are not trying to make this perfect melody, you just do some stupid stuff and it actually sounds good. And it's like moving with you. The next day you are like, oh, that's not actually that bad, maybe just change something a bit.
Okay, should we move on to I think it's the final track, right?
Oh boy.
Are you guys ready for the final track from Stike?
Oh, better be good.
Hell yeah.
It better be good. Here we go.
Get your ass pounded.
Get your ass pounded.
I thought that was part of the sound for a second.
That would be amazing.
I'm waiting for Fred V vocals here.
Yeah. Some vocals right here.
Turn down the shakers, bro.
Boy.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy. That's great.
Ooh, that was great.
I think like this type of liquid where it's all about a big fat like sub bass and just a lot of elements that are drenched in a shit ton of reverb. It's like my most favorite kind of liquid, so it really hits my taste, this track. I really liked it. The drums were really crisp and really on point and complemented all the wetness really well, like having really clean and crisp drums on top of that. It's just a really good contrast. I really like that. I think like the only thing that I have to say is that I really think vocals would be insane on this track. I mean, it's not required, but I think some vocals could really do something here. But it also works without.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said. Like, vocals would take this track to the next level, basically. Like, if this had vocals on it, it would be like a perfect liquid track. I don't know what else to say, really. Like, I really liked everything, the progressions, the sound design, the rees, everything was super nice.
The track was absolutely amazing. It has its feeling. I type it in the chat, like when you're completely chilled and just enjoying every moment in your life while listening to this. It's fucking amazing. I agree with the vocals. I think it works without vocals, but with some just small, nothing like too strong vocals or something, just soft vocals would be perfect for this track. It's really amazing track, except one thing, and I think the drums were too loud.
The shakers?
No, shakers were actually okay, but I think the kick and maybe the kick is too loud for me. And if you would lower the kick and maybe a snare a bit, then you would have more headroom for your bass and sub to shine a bit more.
So that was the last track. I think we had 10 people who signed up, but only 4 tracks. Guys, you have to do better next time. You have to do better next time. So yeah, I guess that was all for this stream. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you haven't signed up for the next Let's Finish a Track, go do it now and get working on these tracks. And thank you so much to my co-hosts today, MELURAN and Overload. Let's all give them a big applause. Woohoo! Yay! You guys did it!
For having us.
I
hope it was fun to be here.
Also, you can now subscribe to Twitch Prime just for
And go follow soundcloud.com/MELURAN.
Go order some G Fuel. Use code Kasger for 20% off right now. Go follow Overload and MELURAN on all their social platforms, SoundCloud, everywhere, Spotify, so you can stay up to date with their stuff.
Yeah, so I can have some money for water and
water.
Water's pretty pricey in Czech, right? You're probably soon gonna have to drink beer instead.
Yeah. How unfortunate.
That's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna cut the stream now. See you guys next time. Bye. Bye.